And I just kept thinking about them. God, it's supposed to be helping him. It's amazing, to see how far this horse has come.
It's not easy, it's hard. We would rather starve than let our horses starve. We want the horses. We want to help them. We want to be able to make a difference in their lives.
The views and opinions expressed in this presentation are solely those of the presenter and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Horse Plus Humane Society, the Full Circle of Life Network, or any of their employees or management. The information contained in this presentation is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute professional advice. Any reliance you place on such information is strictly at your own risk. We strongly encourage you to conduct your own independent research and seek professional advice as needed.
And I don't know if y'all are excited about this presentation. It's 5 o'clock in the evening. We've been here all day. We've had like 19 presentations. Our brains are overloaded. I promise I won't go until 7 o'clock. Oh, wait, 6 o'clock. Oh, dear. But I'm Jason again. Tawnee introduced us briefly. If I was to tell my story, it would have to start something like this. I was born at a young age to my mother and father. And it would go on from there. But I've been rescuing horses. I was lead auction rescuer for quite a number of years here in Tennessee. And rescuing horses is one of my many passions in life. It's probably my biggest passion next to my wife and my God, because God put us on earth, in my personal belief, to help the animals. And horses are some of the most abused animals in the United States, legally abused, I should say, in the United States right now. We've done a great job stopping dogfighting as much as we can, cockfighting. Horses are still being rounded up, shipped to slaughter, and that entire process is devoid of any amount of humanity. And so anything we can do to put a stop to that, we do. So that's my story. But I want to teach you how to tell your story. Why should you tell your story? Who doesn't love a good story, right? And when your fans, your donors, are engaged with your story, they're going to, well, I'm going to tell you why. Telling your story will engage your audience. It drives donations. Does anybody not need more donations this month? All right, we all need more donations. It raises awareness. How many people have over 100,000 fans on their Facebook page? Okay, you need more fans. It will let people know who you are. Does every person in your community know you are there for the horses? Everybody in your community know? All right, all 4 people know. All right, great. Hohenwald is a small community, and we regularly run into people like, wow, we had no idea you were out there. We've been here for almost 10 years. Are we doing a great job reaching our local community? We're trying, but everybody has so many passions in life that if they are not part of the horse community, they might not have a clue that we exist, right? So getting people knowing who you are, what you do. Do people know that you rescue horses? Great. Do they know what you rescue horses from? Do they know why? Do they know that you also rescue donkeys and mules and minis and ponies and zebras if you need to? We're still waiting for that first zebra. It is technically a member of the equine family. We're waiting for him. What you rescue, why you rescue. Do they know why you're rescuing horses? If you're not telling your story, if your fans aren't engaged in your story, they probably don't know why you're rescuing horses. They might think, they go buy a horse. You hear this a lot, like, I rescued a horse. Oh, how much did you pay for it? $10,000. Yeah, you didn't rescue that horse. You bought the horse. You just want to feel better about it. And what you need for them to get involved. If your fans feel like they're involved in your story, they will be more dedicated than if they're doing a good job and they just walk the other way. And telling your story reminds you why you're doing what you're doing. It will give you focus on your mission and drive your mission. Can you guess, I know the screen's a little small, I apologize for that. That is as zoomed in as the projector will go. Can you guess, so this is 2019, this is 22. Can you guess when we started telling our story on video? It's about where it starts squiggling, right?
What is that squiggly line?
That is the views on YouTube. So the question is, how do I? And that's a question for each of you. How do I? All right. So again, sorry, it's a small graph. What format is more effective for generating leads and sales? Blog posts are 26%, video 74%. So the question is, which one should you ignore? Either. Shush, you're too smart. Which one should we ignore? Of course you should ignore neither, right? Because if you only did video, well, you would reach 74% of people. If you only did blog posts, you get 26%. I have time to tell a little story, because my slides are going by faster than the minutes. Back in the early days of Horse Plus, Tawnee, do you remember exactly when we started writing the blog? Was that like 2008? We wrote a daily blog. Tawnee would take, and it's going to come here in a bit, Tawnee would take 100 to 200 photos a day. She would cipher them down, distill them down to about the best 20. And Tawnee, she hasn't mentioned this yet, so I hope she doesn't get upset, but she's very dyslexic. And so I would type, as she tells me, the story of the day through blog, and we would publish a blog, usually around 1,000 to 1,200 words, every single night after taking care of our 4 kids under the age of 6. Some usually 11 o'clock, midnight, we'd get up at 7 a.m., start all over again. And in 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, that worked really well for telling our story. And then we noticed a transition. People had this thing called high-speed internet, and they liked watching videos online. We lived in the sticks. We didn't have high-speed internet, but we had to start doing some videos to reach people who didn't want to read blog posts. I don't have the statistics, but you can only imagine how many kids nowadays actually want to sit down and read a blog post versus watching a TikTok. None, right? Statistically, none. If we're going to reach the next generation, we have to reach them where they're at. And everybody, it seems, with the exception of our friends over here from Nevada, love watching videos online. I don't mean to pick on you guys. I had the chance to get to know you a little bit, and I'm like, well, you guys don't have water at your place. You have to haul water. Did you all watch the Arizona episode? No? Don't really like to watch TV. Okay, watch the Arizona episode. You'll see you got some friends down there in Arizona that also have to haul their water. But that's a great story, right? Is they have a unique situation that's mirrored down in Arizona for the love of the hoof. Don't ignore any way of telling your story, but you have to focus on what's most effective. In other words, there are so many wannabe social media companies, you can't chase them all. You would spend all your time. So you have to chase the ones that make sense. People love a good story. It engages them, and it keeps them coming back for more, because you always want to hear, as Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story, right? In addition to donations, your story can drive adoptions and volunteers. If people are hearing a good story, if they're watching a good story, and then they're like, well, I'm in a position to help out. I want to be in this story. Then they can volunteer, and then they can come out, and they can be in the story. People are like watching this great story that you're putting out, and they're like, I love that horse. People literally fall in love with a horse based on its color. I don't know if y'all knew that, but yeah, they do. And as people are confessing over here. And when people fall in love with that horse, perhaps they can come out and adopt it, right? So a good story can drive interaction, adoption, volunteering. They want to be part of the story. There's more reasons. We're not going to worry about it. What platform should you post to? By a show of hands, who's on Facebook the most for social media? It's a majority of the room. Who's on Instagram the most? It used to be great. I'm sorry. When they decided to become TikTok Lite, Instagram went off the cliff. But we still post on there because it is free to post. Who is on TikTok the absolute most of all social media? We got a few. I mean, okay, it's all right to be on TikTok. There are some positive things on there. You've got Horse Plus Humane Society on TikTok. So as long as that's what you're watching. No. Okay, so there's a variety of social media platforms. Mark Zuckerberg, back in 2016, said that within 5 years, Facebook will primarily consist of video. Are y'all still just writing out your little posts? Hey, this horse is named Happy, and Happy needs a home. Will not get as much interaction as a video of Happy needing a home. And he wasn't joking, by the way. YouTube, the big red play, 2.6 billion users monthly. That's what, a third of the world's population every single month. TikTok has 1 billion users monthly under the age of 15. I'm sorry, it's just all users. And Facebook has 4 billion users daily. Daily. Not monthly. The others are monthly. We're talking 4 billion a day. Which one should you be on? All of them. Which one should be your primary focus? Facebook. Because yes, there are scammers from Pakistan that will try to, talk to you on Facebook. But there's also not scammers from next door that never knew you existed until they saw it pop up on their feed. So video is the way. You all see the little people here staring at their phones? That's our modern society. Video is the way people are being entertained. It is my opinion, and y'all came to hear my opinion, so I appreciate that. You must utilize video if you are to achieve great success in telling your story. You can absolutely tell your story through other platforms, and you will achieve a level of success. But I do not believe you will achieve great success if you do not effectively tell your story through video. But also don't forget blogs, emails, etc. But how? Okay, I've convinced you, I hope. How do we show our story through video? Because we don't have a media team, you're saying. We don't have a bunch of people in gray shirts running around with cameras and microphones. That's okay. A good movie, aka your story, whether it's long or whether it's short, requires a few elements. We're going to go into some of the technical aspects of it. You have to have a story. Why are you producing this video? I am telling you what from experience, and I'm not saying it's all the time because your experience will always vary. If you go out and make a beautiful video of horses in a pasture, and there's not a story, you will not get very many views. Unless you just manage to trip a viral thing. But on the whole, if you just go out and you're like, no narration, no nothing, because in my opinion, a story almost always requires narration. Not always, we'll see one later that doesn't. But a story requires a reason. This is a beginning, a middle, and end. It has to have emotion. It has to explain to you something that's happening. So you've got to have a story. You've got to have video. If you're going to be doing a video, you have to have audio. Then you have to edit. Then you have to review it. And then you have to publish it. So let's talk budget. That camera right here that Faye is on, the camera itself is what, about $4,000, I think it is, John? Yeah, the R5C. And then the lens on it, my son was like, that's the down payment on my cars. And I'm like, nah, it's a little bit less, but it's about $2,700 for just the lens. And then the camera's for us. So, right here's kind of a list. $2,500 for this body. That lens is $1,300, on and on, so $8,000. Or, since we all carry one anyway, you can pull this out. Can you make good videos and movies on an iPhone? Or a Samsung, if that's your unfortunate taste. You don't have to have the latest iPhone. An iPhone 14 Pro is $750. I checked before I made this. You can do Bluetooth audio for like $50. You can get some video software for like $0 to $75 a year, depending on how professional you want it to be. So for $875, you can be making pretty good movies. So let's watch. So I think that's a pretty cool video. Full screen, please. And if you can only imagine, maybe they had Sir David Attenborough narrating it, it would have been like an epic movie, right? But, so that was just a little tech demo, kind of how good a phone can video. I personally cannot imagine being on that road, just holding my phone, videoing a tiger walking around, but I'm glad somebody's willing to do that. But the next aspect I want to talk about is audio. I don't know if y'all have picked up on the audio troubles we've been having today here. Mics stop working halfway through, crackling, fuzzing. Audio is literally more important than film. Have y'all ever watched a blurry, shaky video, but the audio was something you wanted to hear what was happening? Of course, right? We all have. Have y'all ever watched a beautiful thing where the audio sounded kind of, you can't really understand what they're saying, what they're talking about? You don't want to listen and watch something you can't hear what the person is saying. Audio is literally, in my opinion, more important than film. Audio recording will be one of your toughest challenges. It says a pocket mic like one of these will work great, but they're kind of expensive, a couple $100 a piece. Smartphones, if you're up close, within about 3 to 4 feet, they will do okay, but they're no good for any distance from the source. With a mic like this one, you have to worry about syncing up your audio and video. In other words, you have a video with the dialogue from your camera, and then you have just an audio file, and they have to match up. So that's a little bit challenging. There are specific solutions for smartphones, including Bluetooth lapel mics that could work. I know some people are like, I use this one, it works great. I'm like, I've used a bunch, none of them work great long term, but there are solutions. And then when you put it all together, editing your movie can be as simple as complex as you make it. Some of our single most watched videos are the auction or intake. Wow, let me start over. Some of our most watched videos are the buyout intakes, almost live videos we're putting out. Has anybody watched one of those? Sweet, we've got some people here that watched it. You're some of millions that watch them. So those are extremely popular. I literally video it with my phone. I edit it that evening, I put it out, they get a bunch of views. So it's not a tech demo of how amazing of graphics and things you can do. It's telling a good story and people will watch it. The longer and more complex the footage, the longer and more complex the editing is. We have 2 cameras going, we have a 3rd camera walking around. It's gonna take hours to put this all together. If Addison was like, I'm gonna film that on my phone, she could film it and have it out tonight. So the more complex it is, the longer it's going to take. People, and this is a very interesting thought, is people go to college for years. They'll graduate with a media production or some highfalutin degree, and they don't know how to tell a good story, and their videos are awful. Or you have people who never went to college. I'm not knocking college. Most of our film people have graduated from college, so kudos to college. College is great. They know things I have no clue about. And I'm not saying I'm a great storyteller. What I'm saying is, if you can tell a good story that people want to watch, they're not going to care if you have Hollywood special effects. They're going to care that they can hear you, hopefully see what's going on, and they're enjoying the story. The story with clear dialogue is more important than trying to make super special effects, awesome angles, creative filming, and wowing your audience with technical prowess. There's a bunch of suggestions for software. You're welcome to talk to any of us. We all edit on a nearly daily basis. This is so important, and it's something I've been slacking out on because I've been so busy, is reviewing your video before you publish it. And how incredibly irritating to be on YouTube Premiere, and it's going along, and a big red screen pops up in your video because there was an asset missing when you went to render it, and you didn't catch it, and now people are like, what's wrong with your video? Something's broken. Or it's going along, and it literally just stops halfway through. And you're like, where's the rest of the video? Everyone's like, well, that was kind of a weird ending. I'm talking from experience here. Review your video before you publish it. Make sure your story makes sense and words are spelled right. Yeah, I was spelled wrong on episode 1 of Horse Rescue Heroes season 3, was it? I think my last name was spelled wrong. And at that point, you've lost all of your momentum for that video. Because the way a lot of the algorithms work is you publish your video, if a bunch of people watch it and they keep watching it, then YouTube will keep pushing it out to more and more people. Then, now you have to delete it. Because literally one of the founders' last names is spelled wrong, right? You cannot leave that up there for people who don't like your organization to make screenshots and be like, they're so unprofessional, they can't even spell their own name right. So we had to delete it, then we re-upload it, and then you've lost your momentum, and people are like, well, I've already seen this video, and they click off, and it's a mess. Make sure your words that are hard baked into your video are spelled right. And then make sure the background is appropriate. Things like, why is there a dead horse on the tractor going by the background of that interview? Because we're putting it in the crematorium. Delete that. Try again. Right? Videoing, you don't catch everything. Editing, you don't catch everything. You want to take the time to review your video before you publish it. What about trash, right? Does anybody take pride in having trash laying on the ground? Oh, no, okay. Does trash get on the ground? Of course. The vets are, cleaning up a wound and they toss some bloody bandages on the ground. Now you're videoing something and there's bloody bandages on the ground. No vets in sight, no treatment in sight. It just looks like you have bloody bandages on the ground. So check the background of your video while you're reviewing it. Maybe the neighbors are working on their car on blocks and they're neighbors like some of us have had in our lives, right? And you're like, maybe we should have looked the other direction. Your thumbnail. I saw the statistic, and I don't know if I believe it or not, but I saw somebody say, your thumbnail and your title are more important than the content of your video. If so, I wish I knew how to make better thumbnails, because it would be a whole lot easier than making better content. But literally, your thumbnail is important. I don't have time or experience to really give you a strong, in-depth how to make a great thumbnail. But I know sometimes they work great, sometimes they don't. A branded title. What do I mean by branded title? In other words, you want your titles to kind of be similar. If you spell things properly, keep spelling them properly. If you capitalize every word in your title, keep capitalizing every word. If you don't, then don't. Don't make it look like you're all over the place. You want it to be consistent. Publish. YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, they're all major platforms you can publish videos on for free. Cross-post your story on every applicable platform. We'll premiere a video on YouTube. We'll put a post or two on Facebook. Well, we'll put a post before on Facebook if we have time that says, hey, in 2 hours, our video is premiering on YouTube. And then right when it starts premiering, hey, our video is premiering on YouTube. And then after the YouTube done, Facebook automatically shows the video on Facebook. Cross-post everywhere. Thumbnails, we're going to skip this one. Everything's too small to see. Photos, no matter how videofied the world gets, photos are still going to be important because they're cheap, fast, easy, and free. And everybody knows how to take a picture. There's two directions you can take photos. You can take it like this. You can take it like this. Portrait, landscape. And it depends on your destination. You can turn this into this. It's really hard to turn this into this. So default to landscape is my recommendation. A modern smartphone can take nearly as good of photos as lower-end DSL cameras. And I would suggest there's times and places this can take a better photo than either of those, and that's low light. I can literally point this at the sky and take a star-filled picture. I can't hold one of those cameras and take a star picture. So, yeah, it's not about the equipment you have, it's about the person running the equipment. Facebook does well with either portrait or landscape. Instagram, they've got to be like this, up and down. Pay attention, again, pay attention to the background when you're taking your photos. You don't want trash, dead horses, upside down cars, broken fences. Can you imagine the embarrassment of a horse broke a fence, you haven't fixed it yet, there's no horses in there, but you take a picture with the broken fence and feel like, look, all their fences are bad. Still speaking from experience, I feel like. So yeah, back in the early days, the Horse Plus Tawnee was taking 100 and 200 photos a day. We would only use 10, 15, sometimes 20. Oh yeah, this is something we do, which y'all can do. Do you want daily content? 100%. Every day you can. Yeah, Carrie's back there. Yes, you have to. You don't have to have daily content. You don't have to rescue horses. You don't have to do anything. But if you want to achieve great success, daily content on your Facebook to reach some of those 4.1 billion daily users is so important. So we post photos of the day. All of our staff are fully trained and ordered, and sometimes do it, to take photos of what they're doing in the day that are interesting and send them over to the person responsible for photos of the day. And they go through, the 100, 200 photos. They find interesting ones, they write captions, they post them. What do we have, like 10 to 20 photos a day usually? And that's obviously on the business days we're open. Could you do that? You guys, you could post photos every day, right? Something's happening, even if it's a horse's face and it's like Cheerio said hi. Great. Somebody's gonna hit like. Somebody else is gonna hit like. One of their friends is gonna see that and they're gonna be like, I wonder what this place is, and click on it, and now that you have a new fan on your page. Now I want to talk about AI. I love AI. All right. AI is going to take over the world, and I welcome that. Okay. Can we hit play on this video, please? My videos aren't cool enough to automatically play. I don't know why.
In a field of mud and sorrow, I rode by one day, where the horses once were freedom, now they're trapped in disarray. Their bodies weak and weary, their hunger on display, abandoned and forgotten, left to starve and waste away. Through the pouring rain I approach with a heavy heart, wrap my arms around these creatures, tearing them apart. From the chains of negligence I vowed to set them free, to give them love and shelter, the life they once could see. Oh, we'll save you from the darkness, bring you into the light. We'll heal your broken spirit, restore your will to fight. With love and care we'll nourish every day and night. In this muddy field forgotten, we'll bring hope to your plight.
All right, you can hit pause. It took me about 10 minutes to create that video, between creating the images and creating the song on AI. The interesting thing about AI, and something to remember, is yes, that one horse, the ribs were so bad and out of proportion, it kind of looked terrible, right? It will never be worse. Tomorrow, AI is going to be better than it was today. It was less than a year ago, I started playing with text to image. And people had like 19 fingers, and like horses had 7 legs sticking out of their head. That's not bad if you just need to throw something together really quick. Now, this is another free way. Is anybody in here an English major? No one's really? Okay. Does anybody here enjoy writing? Like, I actually literally enjoy writing. I enjoyed writing in school once I got to college. Okay, so there's some of us that enjoy writing. Sorry, we're all out of a job. All we gotta do is ask AI. So Google Docs, which you can use Google Docs for free, and they have a magic write, and you tell it, I want something about this. Routine dental and farrier care are essential for the health and well-being of horses. Dental care helps to prevent and treat oral health problems such as tooth decay, gum disease, and malocclusions. Farrier care helps to maintain the health of the horse's hooves and prevent lameness. Both dental and farrier care should be performed regularly by qualified professionals. Equine dentistry is a specialized field of veterinary medicine that focuses on the oral health of horses. Equine dentists use a variety of tools and techniques to examine and treat the horse's teeth. Common procedures include floating, which is filing down sharp edges of the teeth, extracting loose or damaged teeth, and treating gum disease. Routine dental care can help to prevent these problems from developing and can also help to improve the horse's overall health. Equine farriery I don't know what farriery is, but that's a cool word, is the art and science of caring for the horse's hooves. Farriers use a variety of tools and techniques to trim and shape the horse's hooves and apply shoes if necessary. Routine farrier care can help to prevent lameness, which is a major cause of pain and discomfort in horses. It can also help to improve the horse's performance and athletic ability. Which was faster, telling Google Docs to make me a 3-paragraph article about dental and farrier care? Yeah, no, I'm like, what was my prompt? Or sitting down and coming up with that all by myself and trying to spell check it. And AI is getting wonderful.
Farrier is a word.
All right, this is a rudimentary AI video. It's short, but you can see some stuff moving. It looks goofy. The water's flowing backwards. The water's okay. Some leaves are blowing around. The water wheel's on backward, sideways. Again, it will never be worse. This was free, I think. Yeah, because Canva donates their pro plan to nonprofits. So that was free. I'm not going to have you play this whole thing, but this is called Sora, and it's being released to the general public later this year. These videos are not real. These were created by somebody typing text into a AI. Again, it's never going to be worse. All right, you can pause it. We don't need to watch the whole thing. I think you all get the idea of where AI is going. And if we could do that with horse videos, would people like it? Yeah. Oops, back. AI can never tell your story. It tells a story. It can tell a great story. It can't tell your story. And again, I go back to where our most viewed videos are the ones that are almost live. And not always most viewed. I don't want to discredit our media team who does amazing, professional, awesome videos, because those videos are seen by a different group of people that are the big donors. But for just reaching masses, people want to see the raw, the emotion. And AI can never do that to tell your story fully. Alrighty, Dave, do you want to talk about this before or after we watch the video?
I guess go ahead and start playing it.
Okay, let's play the video. This is Warden Horse Rescue. We saw their 990 earlier today. Now we're going to see their promo video.
Every horse deserves love, care, and compassion. But sadly, not all of them receive it. At Warden Horse Rescue, we're changing that narrative. We are on a mission to save horses from neglect, abuse, and slaughter. Every day, we provide a safe haven for these majestic creatures, offering them a second chance at life.
Working here has been incredibly rewarding. Seeing these horses transform is nothing short of miraculous.
Thanks to Warden Horse Rescue, our family has gained a beloved companion and a true friend.
But we can't do it alone. We need your support to continue our life-saving work. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of these beautiful animals. Join us in our mission to rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome horses in need. Together, we can change their stories and give them the happy endings they deserve.
All right, come on up, David. This is my older brother. He hails from Texas, and his wife was one of the the presenter on the IRS issues this morning. And go ahead and tell us about this video and how you made it.
Hey guys, so
I don't hear you. You got to turn it on.
Yep, there we go.
Hey, I didn't turn it on for you.
Hey, so one day we're going to rely on AI a lot, So this video I put together really quick because my wife was telling me that she needed some financials to be able to share with you guys. I said, well, then we're going to have an imaginary horse rescue organization. She wanted it to be Buddy Horse Rescue. We did a little Google search, found out that California actually has a Buddy Horse Rescue that just registered this year. So we went with Warden Horse Rescue. But how did I get this narration? So I went to ChatGPT.
Well, the narration is AI.
Yeah, so I went to ChatGPT, and so what I said was, I want to make a spectacular name for a horse rescue that saves horses from neglect, abuse, slaughter, and provides a safe place for people to bring their horses when they can no longer take care of them. This horse rescue provides services to the community such as low-cost castration and rescue efforts with local law enforcement. What name should I use? It gave me some ideas, didn't like it, so we used our own name. So then I told ChatGPT, I chatted back at it and I said, okay, so the name of the horse rescue has been chosen as Buddy's Horse Rescue. What would be a good high-impact 1-minute video promotion for this horse rescue? So ChatGPT is able to dialogue with you, like have a conversation with you. It remembered what I told it about the name we were going for, and so it created this narration. And when I realized that we were going with Warden Horse Rescue, I told it, please give me the exact same script, but change the name of the organization to Warden Horse Rescue. So in other words, it was able to take the idea that I expressed to it. I said, hey, this is what my organization is like. Give me a promotional video. So the entire dialogue was given, but it does more than that. It told me, it said, the video opens with a serene footage of horses grazing in lush pastures. Well, so then it tells me narrator says this, narrator says that. So there's all these different elements that come together to make the video. There's the script that the narrator is going to read, but of course there's the images and the video that you're going to get to. I want to show you exactly where all of those different elements can come from, and you should have free access to this. I like what somebody told me the other day, that their love language is free. I said, that's mine too. So ChatGPT is free to you. So if you're like, I'm lost in the woods, I'm so in deep in all of these horses, and what I do, I really can't even express what my story is, just talk to ChatGPT. Open your heart to ChatGPT. Let it know what it is that you do and say, help me out with making a 1-minute promo video, and it'll help you do that. So, all right, so it gave me, the narrator, told me suggestions on footage. You don't have to take its suggestions. Do something that's working for you. We changed text to make it match. But what I did was I took the narration that it told me. I said, here's your narration. And I went over to 11labs.io.
So that's spelled out, E-L-E-V-E-N, labs.io.
ELEVENLABS.io. And you can take the text that ChatGPT gave you for the narration, put it in there, and choose one of the voices that you have an option to. This particular one, I don't remember what the name of it was, but did it seem like it was a legitimate narrator narrating for you? It sounded okay. It sounded really good, right? I mean, it's a way of telling your story. It's no longer back in the days where it's Dr. Spadeso on...
Who?
You remember Dr. Spadeso? I am Dr. Spadeso. Anyway, they've come a long way from text to speech,
yes,
right? And so you can use this to help you, unless you have a nice recording studio already and you can go sit down and record your own voice. And this is free. This is something you can use for free and get a good narration that is easy to listen to. The pronunciation is good, the volume levels are good and whatnot. So where else did we have to make the video? Let me tell you about where you can go to. I had the logo on there. Canva helped me do logo. How much do you guys pay for Canva?
$0. So Canva is free for nonprofits.
Canva.com.
And it is amazing.
That's what all these presentations are done on.
Yeah.
So I went to Canva and I said, horse logo. And it gave me a gob of horse logo options. We ended up, they gave me the, this one minus the red plus. I just thought, you know what, it needs a red, plus in there. Yeah. It just looks better. So I threw that in there with, just on top of it and then resaved it. What else do we have on there? We have stock video. This is not a horse rescue I run. It's a fictional horse rescue. This is not a real horse rescue. If you guys have nice cell phone footage that you have of what you're doing, that the narration or the script that you're able to generate produces, bring some of those in. Otherwise, there's a couple places that I want to give you where you can get free stock video footage. Pexels.com, Pexels.com. They have free photos and videos that you can use. A place where you can go to get additional videos and photos, which I don't feel like is quite as high quality, but they have more stuff, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, is Pixabay.com, Pixabay.com. You can get more photos, more videos, but Pixabay also has music. So that's another element that I had in here was music. Yes, Tawnee. 5 minutes. Thank you.
No, we get to go to 6 according to the schedule.
Good. Jason, do you have an ideal length for videos? So for me, I was simply focusing on a promo, 1 minute promo that just tells who you are, what you're doing, why you're doing it, how. I did not do a very good job on the ending of this. You should always have a call to action on your videos. Like join us, call us, donate, volunteer. Always have a call to action so that when somebody sees it, even if it's as simple as, if you want to see more really cool videos, please leave that in the comments, right? Just something. Tell your viewing audience to do something, to engage somehow. So I did 1 minute. Some of the platforms, they'll pay you if your video is 1 minute or longer.
So I can answer the question as to how long is the right length for a video. You will receive less complaints your video isn't long enough if it's over an hour long. No, for real. If it's 30 minutes, people are like, man, wanted to see more. So an hour and a half, that's for our weekly episodes.
What about TikTok videos? Should they be an hour long?
They can be, but 3 minutes is, if it's less than 3 minutes, you're not going to, I feel like, get the engagement you get if you get a little bit longer, unless it's specifically, I want a short video. Yeah. So you might just want a short video of horses running by. Not wrong to put that up.
So Pixabay also has music. You're able to sort it for length. So if your video is going to be 1 minute or 2 minutes long, choose a song that you like that's that length, because chopping it down can be a little tricky. And if you use Premiere. If you use Premiere, you hit remix, you tell it exactly how long you want it, and it makes it magically that long.
Oh, well done.
So how much does Premiere cost?
Too much.
Is it free?
No.
Yeah, so it's not a free option.
Correct.
But there are a lot of great options out there if you want a minimal subscription or a maximum subscription. They're all available. What other elements are here? Those are the 4 websites I wanted to let them know about what I did here. These are not where I got all of the elements here, and the fancy logo at the end, the graphic logo animation. I use After Effects a lot in the work that I do, so I downloaded a template, a logo template, and threw my logo in there and animated it with some music. And I have music libraries that I use in a lot of the stuff that I do. But these are free places you can go to make neat stuff.
Yep. Thank you, David. So again, it's not about letting AI tell your story. It's about utilizing the tools to tell your story better. Because if Warden Horse Rescue existed, and somebody watched that video, and then they visit Warden Horse Rescue, and nothing at the rescue matches what's on that video, are they going to be impressed? No, they're going to be sad. They're going to be like, it doesn't match the video. So your content needs to tell your story, but AI scripts, like these are all valuable tools you can use to help tell your story better. Tell your story, again, through video, on social media. Blogs are fine. We haven't written a blog daily for quite a while now, but blogs are another viable way to reach people. And especially I'm thinking more of Facebook posts that aren't video, they're pictures. Engage with your fans, include them in your story. If people come out to volunteer, every person that steps foot on your property should sign a filming release so that you can film them and include them in your story. If they step foot on your property, I'm sure Tawnee's going to go over this, they need to sign a liability release and a filming release. And it can be one form. Make your fans useful. Let them know, hey, we're having a volunteer day. Come on out and help us. Keep doing your good work, but tell your story. Part 1s, Part 2s, Part 3s. Do it if it makes sense. And I'm not an expert on parts, especially on like TikTok and things like that. But if I know that a rescue we work with north of us, they had such crazy success with multi-part TikToks, like crazy, crazy success. So it is possible, but it has to make sense. You have to have a cliffhanger wanting them to come back. Otherwise, if it's like part 1 and it doesn't end with a cliffhanger, meaning it's not being like, where's part 2? If they're not going to be willing to go look for it, then it probably wasn't a good time to do multi-part video. And Tawnee's up here. Wait, here's my mic.
You can keep your mic.
Here you go.
Okay. We do want to be respectful of the venue's time, so we're going to be closing it. But I just want to thank you all so much for coming out here. I know y'all traveled a long ways, and we're very honored to have each of you here. Tomorrow we're going to be diving into a lot more different presentations. Like, you have the schedule there, so you know some of the things we're going to be diving into, but it's really going to be answering, I think, a lot of your questions. I think we've opened up probably a new thought process for you today, and you probably have a ton of questions, and I think tomorrow we'll answer a lot of those questions for you. So just wanted to thank you all so much for coming and your participation, and got to know some of you today. I'm looking forward to getting to know more of you tomorrow. So thank you so much for coming.
And they open for breakfast at 6.
Thank you.